An infinity screen? I'm liking what I see already. Welcome to one of my favorite booths here at Computex 2024, and this is the Antec booth, coming in with new case designs that are going to be hitting the market hard, just like that C5. And I still am just crazy about the C5. I think it's just amazing. We'll talk about that more soon. But then we've got here the Flux Pro. This is going to be a flagship case coming out in July. That's next month. And it's going to have a price tag close to around $200, but it is going to be more of a flagship premium case, coming in included with 6 PWM fans from the get-go, as well as having an LED side panel for your GPU and also your CPU temperatures. And then on top of that, you've got a shift cable at the back, so you're able to mount your power supply sideways just for easier cable routing. Now at the top, you've got 420mm rad support, and at the front too. So you can fit a lot in this, just like an EATX motherboard too. Now in terms of the paneling, at the front, the top, and the sides, it's tool-free paneling, so you've got that premium feel to go with the Flux Pro. Now in terms of colors, you've got the black that we're seeing here with the darker wood trims at the front, and then you've also got the white version, which is not going to cost any extra and comes in with a lighter wooden trim at the front. Now if you guys recently saw at Tech Yes City, I took a look at the Antec C5, and that's going to be my favorite case for 2024. I don't think that can be beat. The value there is incredible. Fish tank, 7 ARGB fans. But Antec also have a C8 that's out in the wild. And they're bringing in a few variants of this in different flavors. This one is the black and wood, and that's coming out later next month. And then they've also got it in the white aluminium, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. And then you've also got a curved version of this coming out, and that's going to be delayed until Q4. And that's going to have a little bit of a steeper price tag as well, just because the curved glass is a lot harder to implement than the simple flat straight design here. The C8 wood, however, and the aluminum is going to come in at around $129, I believe, and they'll also support EATX, unlike the C5, which only supports up to ATX. Also, the C8 includes no fans, so it's more of a modder's paradise if that's more your thing. But if you like included fans, this is where we're going to go into a new release here, coming out next month in July. This is the C7 ARGB. It's going to include 4 of those fans, 3 at the side here that are 120s, and then you've got that 140 at the rear, as well as the controller and the PWM fan controller that plugs straight into the motherboard. Ease of use, already done. And this one differs from the C5 in that it's coming in with a single chamber design. So the C5 had the shorter height, but then had that wider body, and then you can fit the power supply in the back. This one's got the power supply down the bottom with the mount there, and then it's also being a bit taller, but a bit thinner as well, so it'll fit on your desk. Also, the inputs and outputs for all these cases so far is Antec's power, reset, USB Type-C, and then your USB Type-A's. You've got 2 of those, as well as your 4-pole for your mic and your headset. And now these will come in at $139 USD. You also can get this in the white. Now if you guys like the Flux Pro but you didn't like the $200 price tag, you can get away with the Flux OG. That's what I'm going to call it, even though it's just called the Flux. This is coming in black or white, and you've got those wood accents on the front, just like the Flux Pro, lighter for the white version, darker for the black version. But also you're going away with that LED display on the side, which can display your CPU and GPU temps. But also you still get 5 fans. But they're not ARGB either. So you got 5 PWM fans, going with the RGB, just going with that clean look, and you can save money coming in at $109 US. Now this will be released at the same time as the Flux Pro, coming in later in July this year. Now the last case to feature here at the Antec booth is the Performance 1M. Now if you guys remember the Performance 1 we took a look at last year, that was a really good case. This one's going in a completely different direction, however. Mini ITX only, and it's also with the ability to be a modular case. So you can take out the tray, put your whole build together, and then just put it in the tray and you've got a Mini ITX PC ready to go. Now it's also got the ability to mount 2 fans down the bottom up to 140 mils, so you can get better airflow in the case. And you've got an included PCIe Gen 4 cable, riser cable, so you don't have to do any messing around. You've also got an extension power cable there, so you can mount your SFX or SFXL only to save space, and then you're good to go there. And a 350mm GPU, as well as a CPU cooler that's up to 65mm tall. So that's the specs on this one, all anodized aluminium as well inside, and then on the outside, aluminium chassis too. In terms of the pricing and the release date, we're looking at to be determined still. They're hoping to get it out maybe at the end of 2024, but the price tag will be pretty high, coming in maybe close to around $200. So it will be an expensive, sort of more elegant, premium choice for those who want to go with a mini ITX case. So when I think of Antec, the last thing I think of is a handheld gaming device. And this is exactly what we got here, coming out in late July from $599 for a 16GB DDR5 version. And then for the 32GB version with also 2TB of storage versus the 12GB storage, coming in for another $100 at $699. So that's actually very generous. You're not getting sort of taxed to have the more storage and the higher capacity on the SSD space, as opposed to other manufacturers that love to sort of, especially for instance with my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, I just got like the 256 gig model because when they charge for 512, they just charge through the roof for that extra little bit of storage. So I'm thinking, well, no, I'll just get the budget model and just, if I need space, I'll just manage my phone. But with this, you don't have to worry so much. And you've also got the Ryzen 7 Mobile 7840U, so you're utilizing that low power consumption up to 28 watts max. And you also got this in a choice of white and black with a 6-inch 1080p touchscreen. Now, I was a little bit like, okay, where's the OLED? I want OLED on my gaming devices nowadays. And I was kind of surprised that it was a touchscreen. And so that kind of makes sense being IPS. So really nice to see what Antec are bringing to the market, with especially the battery life too. 12,000 milliamp battery, and that's going to last from 4 to 6 hours of hard gaming, with sort of the screen going up to more of a higher brightness. If you lower the settings, you might be able to extend it a little bit more. You've got Windows 11 operating system too, with a screen that flips up and then goes to a 15-degree angle. And you can also then use a QWERTY keyboard behind that if you wish to do any sort of typing. Now this thing also comes included with speakers and little fans that actually blow a lot of heat out. So this thing is already geared up with Antec's knowledge of fans, which we'll get onto a moment. But also with this, you've got the dock there, so you can dock this little unit, but also you can then plug it up to a TV and you can start playing games with it. And you've got the USB-C ports there as well to get a lot more expandability if you want to use a mouse and keyboard. 400 nits brightness too on the IPS screen max. I think this thing's going to be a little winner from Antec. Definitely keen to try it. I like what I see so far. And now we're at the final furlong here at the Antec booth. And we've got this C8 that we mentioned before in aluminium white. That's going to be the same price as the black version that we looked at before. But we're going to move a little bit through this suite here because Antec have some fans that are coming out. And these things go up to 3,200 RPM. So get ready. Get ready. So these fans come from 300 all the way up to 3,200 RPM. Now, surprisingly, even at 3,200 RPM, they don't sound that loud. However, these fans, just like a special fan at the back here, they've got a new RGB fan coming in with a completely new design. This is the Orbit. These are going to be still undetermined on their release date as well as their pricing. But I must admit, if you're looking for something different in terms of RGB, this is certainly going to deliver. Though, there is something special. If you guys have been in tech for quite a while, you'll remember a power supply that used to exist, and that was the high current gamer. Now it's coming back, but it's coming back with a vengeance this time around, in that it's going to be Antec's flagship power supply. It used to be their value sort of mid-range power supply back in the day, but it's coming back now with platinum rating, as well as having a full modular design. Now the Seasonic is the OEM for this, so you're going to be getting a good quality component inside. And then they've also got SFX power supplies too, going up to 850 watt gold. Now on top of that, you've also got your value line here, the GSK, and that's going up to 1,000 watt too. So they're really making these power supplies that are just hitting for what most gamers need, and that is just a good power supply going up to around 1,000 watts. And that's about it, guys, for Antec 2024 here at Computex. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. I certainly did. It was very smooth here, being off that showroom floor and just being a lot more quiet. I don't have to yell as much. We can go through, get the details done, get into it, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Also, let us know in the comments section below, what was your favorite product on display here? I'm still going to say it. I still think that C5, out of all the cases I've seen at Computex so far, I just think that's the value king still. 7A RGB fans installed, pre-installed, the price is hitting right. I think that one's going to be hard to top. Even though I like some of these new designs, C5's still my thing. Anyhow, guys, I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. If you stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content, be sure to hit that sub button, ring that bell, get the content as soon as it drops, and I'll see you next time. Peace out for now. Bye. Which case did you like the best here?
I mean, the Flux Pro is it seems like it's got everything going on for it. I mean, if you're looking for a more traditional ATX build, but the little guy, I forget the name of it. And
the Performance one, Mini.
Performance, yeah. That one, I just like the look, and I like a tiny case like that can still support a pretty big graphics card.
Here's the man, the legend himself, Paul's Hardware.
I'm never gonna say Techno City.
It's Tech Yes City.